Welcome back to the Queer Sister podcast. I'm Jasmine. I'm bisexual, and my pronouns are she, her, and this is my sister.
I'm Natasha. My pronouns are she and her, and I am a lesbian.
So, the question that we have today is: where did you come out, or first come out, or what are some random
When
places?
and where did you come out?
Yeah,
And all the places that you did that at?
Yes,
Because there's like this. I feel like there's like this. Not a stereotype, but there's like this thing where like there's certain places queer people like to come out, whether it makes them feel safer or I don't know what the thought process is of like coming out. If you are at home listening to this, like think of those weird places you came out to, but also if you were the straight person that they came out to, the weird places that we came out to. Do you want to start? Or do I want to start? Actually, I want to. Well, I want to say I was gonna say when did we come out to each other, but you kind of knew because we did like when we talked about the Kinsey scale. Like I took it and I was like, oh, I'm asexual. But when did I tell you that I was a lesbian or that I was gay?
I
Do you remember?
figured it out for you. I said I figured it out for you.
Oh yeah, there was this thing. Okay, I don't know. This is weird. I don't know if this is weird, but it's like I guess it's like projection because all throughout my high school experience, when Jasmine was in college, she would come home and we had Netflix at the time, and we would watch these movies. We would watch a lot of like gay movies, and I was just like, oh, the story's better. This is still me, and like very closeted. The story's better. Like I rather like they spend a little more time on it. Whatever. So we watch these gay movies together, and this was just something that we just like started, and then we never really stopped. It was just like every time we would watch gay movies, everything that we can find was gay movies. But I don't know when I like told you I was gay because you always thought I was gay and I always thought you were a lesbian as well. And I was like, I don't know why. I was like,
everybody thought I was a lesbian.
I thought the entire time. I think it was projection because I was like, oh, I want a gay sister, and I was like, oh, she's gay. Like I was like, girl, I know you're gay. I don't know why you're like hiding this. Like stop acting like you're not gay. You are gay. Like stop. I like was like putting it on you. Like it's really was bad. But it was like I put it on.
I guess I was doing the same thing to you. I was like,
you were,
for sure.
But you
like,
knew though. You at least had something.
But I was like,
had gaydar. We didn't know what it was. We're like, girl, it's ping. You're gay. Stop acting like you're not. You are gay. So yeah, there was a lot of that. But I guess I don't know in college. I don't know. I don't remember a time where it's like. I think I might have just told you like, girl, I don't think I'm asexual because like there's girls that like you know, like it was a progression. So there was never a coming out with you. Sometime on the couch, I don't know, sometime watching L Word. I don't know, something like that.
I do remember, when I first mentioned, me being bisexual to you, it was like in the living room or whatever, and like because I waited until a certain time, just because like I think at the time or prior to then.
Was that after I told you about me?
No.
Or when we talked about the Kinsey scale?
It was after Kinsey scale, but it was before. Oh no, yeah,
might have been then because you had to give your results, right?
Yeah, no, I guess it did. Memorable. No, that's what it was. At the time, I got my results, and you were like, but it's not like right in the middle, so maybe you're just straight. And I was like,
I was still about. At that point, I knew what bisexual was, and I thought it was valid.
Yeah,
I thought it was valid. I just the whole point is like and I'll go into it. When I was, I think about junior high, even maybe a little bit of high school, I didn't think bisexuality was exist because everybody that came out to me as bisexual then was like, oh no, I'm gay. I just didn't know that was like a valid thing for them to identify with, or that they used it like that quote unquote step stool to get to gay, and that could be easier for them to come out to themselves or to their family, and that's valid. And I know it hurts bisexual people, but there was a lot of people who did that, or some people who just like they identified that and they realized that they more research and discovery that they realize, oh no, I'm gay. So everybody that came out to me as bisexual then said, no, I'm gay. So of course it makes sense that I didn't think it really
And it's
existed.
really fun because at that time I didn't even know what that was.
Yeah, and I
I
didn't
thought,
even think it was a
still kind of,
spectrum. So let's just
I
be real. So
yeah.
you can
Yeah.
fault me for it, or we've learned. So I just didn't at that point I was learning about spectrums during that time. So I didn't know that like people can be like, because I'm like, girl, all you dated were guys, and that's still very close minded. And I was like, I don't hear you talking about no girls or nothing. Maybe like Olivia Wilde, but like it was still a little bit different. It's just like different things. So it took me a little bit, but like, who was the first person you ever came out to? Because it definitely wasn't me.
No, it was definitely in college. Like there was a few times where like I hate that, but like it was like just at like a weird awkward time, like at a party or something.
When
So
everybody's
just
like drunk or something.
yeah, because I would feel comfortable because if it didn't go well, you just be like, oh, we were all
Yeah,
drunk.
but weren't these like people not straight anyways?
Like wait,
Were
what?
they straight, or are these people not like, or are they like queer?
It was a
Oh,
mix. So there was a few people who were queer. There's other people who were straight, and so like I tested it out a couple times.
and
I
how was
just
the
did parties,
reactions?
and most of the time it was
It was
horrible.
horrible.
Yeah, like either they flat out just didn't respond and they thought it was a
Uh
joke,
huh.
or like yeah, or like if I not all the partners that I've been with, but I did tell every single one of them, but there was a few that were like they thought it was kind of kinky type of
Yeah.
thing or whatever. Like it wasn't so. I never stopped coming out. I just
So
always
the
got
first
really
person,
bad
was
reactions.
it like a boyfriend, or was it a friend?
The first person was a
Oh,
friend,
okay. And that
and
was
they just
bad.
ignored it. They just ignored it. There's a few times where there's just like just instances
Like,
where I don't
girl,
know,
you've
it's just like
been
really
dating
weird.
guys, stop. Like, type of things like that.
But I don't know. It was like that's just what it was, and it wasn't until like I started being more outspoken with myself. Really, like I was always like out there at college, but it wasn't until like I was really like oh we're
But
definitely
you were
queer.
out, Jasmine. Let's reel it back, and you were,
Okay.
because like honestly, a few of your occasions of like you coming out
Hmm.
was okay. This is with consent. I
Hmm.
outed you because I was like, I would look at you. Can I say it? Like, and then I would out it. I
That's
could think
so
of a few things,
true.
and that was maybe 3 years ago. So you were not out of
Okay.
college.
I wasn't out to everybody. I was out to certain people, very very close. It was mostly with other queer people, just because I felt more comfortable, and it wasn't until like the outer circles until just recently, like within
Yeah.
the last few years, that I
She's been
felt
out and
more
proud on
comfortable.
Instagram, y'all. I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. You want people to know, so that's great.
Yeah,
Sucks that the first few were not great. Um,
I mean, you live and you learn.
thing.
It happens,
I mean, for
but
me, I want to think of who's the first. I mean, the first person was you, but outside of that, I don't know who the next person I was, like, who I came out to. I want to say, was it Katie? No, was it mom and dad? Was it mom?
it's probably bad.
Because at the time when I came out as asexual, so I told like pretty much everybody I was asexual.
But then didn't update anybody.
And then I just like, yeah, I don't think I need to come out anymore. Like, just you are who you are, and you ask me, I'll tell you now. At the time, if someone, I remember, oh my gosh, I gotta remember it. I'm gonna throw this girl under the bus, and I'm gonna say her name because I don't know if she's gonna
Oh
listen to
my
it, but I'm gonna send it to her so she listens to it. This girl Hind, I went to college with. It was funny. We were in this like program where we work at preschools, and she said, and she like told me, she asked me at the table, we're with the other people that I was in my group and these kids, and she just like leaned over the table, well, not quietly, but she's like, are you a lesbian? And I just was like, and it was funny because it wasn't funny at the time, but that was the first person who ever asked me if I was gay or a lesbian or anything like that. And I was so shocked, but at the time I was asexual. I was so shocked. I was just like, no, I was like, first of all, there's like these 4-year olds. This is like a conversation that we need to have, like a one on one, or maybe in a group
Yeah.
where this is not the situation. I told her this later on. She's like, I don't remember that. But I was like, girl, I remember. I remember it. It don't matter if you don't. I do. I'm not mad at her, but it was just like, it was one of those things that I just needed. Like, I didn't even, like, I hadn't fully progressed it. Like, I hadn't fully, like, got my thoughts out. So I was like, no, no, no. But probably mom. I told mom, and it was, this is like one place that was like a normal place to come out. I don't know, there's not a normal place, but it was in the house. We are on the couch. We are having this discussion, and I was like, "Well, I'm not straight," and I had explained what asexual was, and that's came out to my mom. It was like this like 2 hour, 3 hour conversation that we were had about all these different things, um, which was it was it wasn't like a negative thing. I didn't think I was gonna get um kicked out or none of that stuff. Dad was different. It was like quickly after that I told him. We were in the car. I was driving. We were driving to go see my cousins, his nieces and nephews, and so we were driving, and I was like, I don't even know exactly how I said it. I was just like, yeah, so I don't really want, like, I identify as asexual. I don't see myself with a guy, but like I can see myself with a girl, but like it can change. Like I was saying, like it can
Yeah.
change. Like I could want, like I don't see myself with anyone right now, but I can maybe see in the future being with a girl. But I don't know. It's like it's fluid. Like things can change, because I wanted to leave that door open of like, yes, I'm asexual now, but I could be, because I was still in that process. I could be a lesbian. Yeah, I was like, so I kept on saying it could change. He's like, like whatever, I don't even remember. It was a positive thing. He's like, whatever. I don't even remember what he said. Like, you would think that these things would stick in my head. I just remembered like being freaked out, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna tell him in the car while we're driving for 30 minutes.
And
I'm
it's
gonna tell him
funny
in the
because
car. I don't know. It's
I
like this. Go ahead.
no, I switched it for mom and dad with me. Like with mom, it was in the car. With dad, it was at a sushi restaurant.
Well, yeah, I didn't. It wasn't at a restaurant with mom, but it's just like we were
I
sitting
don't know,
down and
it
having
just
a
felt right.
conversation, and it was more of you were like, I don't know. You just were like, I need to come out, and I was like, girl, I could out you if you want me to. Be like,
So that's what happened. I was like, just do it, and
and then I was like, no, I'll let you do it. Like you go and you talk to mom and dad about it. I never said it, because there was a lot of times that I could have brought it up between me and mom.
and I was waiting, and I looked,
And I was
and I'd
like,
be like,
no,
oh,
I was like, no, this is her opportunity. I was like, this is her opportunity to tell you, because I'm like, girl, I've been um done it. It was like, because I think it had to have been years. I was out to mom and dad for years before you said anything. Because this what was it? No, I'm not. It's not a bad thing. Well, I didn't mean it as a bad thing, but it was like what, last year?
was it last year?
Last
I feel
year or
like
a
it
year and a half
was
ago or something. It wasn't that long ago.
I feel like it was 2 years.
Oh,
Last
maybe.
year,
I don't know, because I think I was like 21. But like still was still figuring everything out. But I want to say, what was the weirdest place? So was the weirdest place you came out? It was in a sushi restaurant. Is that the weirdest?
that's probably the weirdest I can
That's not
think
really
of.
weird. I don't know. I
It's
feel
not
like
really
it's
weird.
comforting at a restaurant or in the car, which I don't know about cars.
I don't know. I don't know
Why?
how comforting like sushi is, like when somebody's like literally right next to you, like chopping up, like
Yeah.
seafood or whatever. That's kind of that part. I thought that was interesting, but
Well, I think a lot of people do like come out in restaurants because they feel like they're in a public space, that maybe if it goes wrong, like they'll just be like, the person will just be more quiet, and then like you have that drive
and not
home
to say that I
and they can think
thought that
about it. I don't.
yeah,
I just think and for us, we usually just are having those conversations with our parents at like when we're eating or sitting down watching TV. So
that's mostly
it seems
what
like kind of authentic. Um, I had a restaurant experience. The same person, Hind, I came out to Hind.
it
I don't. This was when I knew I was a lesbian, and I don't know when it was, like 21, 22. And we were at Buffalo Wild Wings, not a sponsorship, at Buffalo Wild Wings. And I don't know what it is. Every single time I come out, um, like heart drops. It like you're nervous. It's like you don't know how they're gonna respond. And I actually was really nervous at this one. I was like, because we're Buffalo Wild Wings. That is a weird one. That's a weird one.
That is
Like,
a
let's go
weird
to Buffalo Wild Wings. We're eating our wings. And I told her,
story.
yeah, I'm gay. And I was like, do you remember when you asked me if I was a lesbian? She was like, nah. I was like, girl, you did. Um, yeah, what, over text.
So this isn't my story, but I do know of someone who has another restaurant story, and I believe uh, that was a Sizzler that they
Oh,
dated back.
okay. I know that. I know that is, yeah. I mean, it's a family affair.
Family event,
You're at your
family
salad
affair.
bar. You're like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna tell them. This is the time I'm
You
gonna
have
be out.
multiple outs because you can get up and you can get your little pizza squares,
Yeah,
and then you can sit down and like think about what you want to say,
yeah.
and then
You
if
say
you're
it, and
chicken,
then
you
you're
can
like, let them
you
talk,
get
and
some
then
chicken strips or something, and then you
yeah,
can come back.
yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there are
It,
any weird ones, but it's just like I feel like cars are always ones. Yeah, I
you
can think of
just
another
lock
one I came out
them,
in the
you
car.
lock them in a cage. Yeah.
Yeah, like you're like, oh, I have to. Well, I've done it before where it's like I was in a car, came out to somebody, and it was right before I was about to walk out to go. So we had that conversation. She was like, "Why are you so nervous about telling me?" I was like, there was like a few people in my life that I was really really nervous to tell. Um, and I was like, so I was in the car, and I was like, okay, well, if it goes bad or whatever, like I'm already at home, I could just get out of the car and just like leave.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if it's like a safety thing. I don't know, but I was even driving, like at least with my dad, I was driving and I had control of the car and whatever. But I don't know. There was another
Oh,
restaurant. I came up to my other friend at brunch.
brunch is another good
Brunch is a
one.
good one. When people eating and whatever. But yeah, I don't know. What it like since we're talking about coming out, how did you come out? Like what did you say?
I don't remember how I started it. Like, cause I like each time, especially the restaurant ones,
Mhm.
like I would just try to psych myself up and try to like have something to
Yeah.
say, but like I don't know, it would just I would try to like get them onto the subject of like sexuality in some
Hmm.
way. Like most of the time, it would come up because people were always curious about who I was dating,
Yeah.
and wouldn't tell anybody
Yeah, you used
until
to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm
like
not dating
a year
anyone.
and a half
I don't have
into
I'm not."
to the relationship or
Yeah.
whatever. So like yeah, so like they would ask like like who was that in your Instagram story,
See, I didn't have
or
that
like
opportunity
you did
because they would
anybody.
ask
Yeah,
me and then they stopped asking me. After a while, they just stopped. I feel like I really did give off asexual vibes, or they just like
yeah,
she's
nobody
not.
questioned.
We don't even have to ask, type of thing. And so yeah, I never got that question. So that's a good little segue. Um,
Mm.
did you like go into the like restaurant thinking you were gonna come out, or did you just
Oh
like
yeah,
you did? Well, yeah, because
yeah.
you were
No,
planning it for a while
I planned every single. Well, no, not the car ones. The cars always were spontaneous, but
based off of
restaurants
conversations.
were very like it was like I planned it to the T.
Yeah, I don't think I planned it for Dad. It just happened to be we were in the car, and I think he might have actually asked about guys or something like that, or he might have said something. Oh yeah, you and your sister da 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 about some guy, and I was like, no, and I had to correct him. So I was like, no, and I was like, this is a perfect opportunity. Like, I think that's what it was. But I never planned it. I never planned any of them. It just seems like it's like a good opportunity. Like if I don't say it now, I'm not gonna have an opportunity, or like,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So like a lot of like the restaurant ones, I didn't plan on it, but they like say things, and I'm like, and I'm,
I think once you get like your core people down,
it's
then
still
you're just
kind
like,
of
okay,
hard.
whenever it happens,
Yeah, but it's
happens.
still kind of hard. At this point, I'm like done. Like
Mm.
I hope you know because I don't want you thinking I'm straight. Like I hope you know, but I'm not gonna like tell you. There was, I mean, one recently I just came out, and people were like, you and some other people were like, why did you wait so long? I don't know. I don't know why I waited so long because I feel like now I'm just in the spot where it's like we don't have to come out. Like it's more of like coming out to yourself and then just living authentically. But it's kind of hard, like maybe if you don't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend to just like not prove, but just like show people that you are queer. It's kind of
Yeah.
hard for them to just like see on your Instagram or whatever. So like I understand that need if you just want to tell people and you want to find your group or whatever, but I don't think it's really necessary anymore. I think it's like it is like it is very freeing um to like say it out loud, to like tell
Mhm.
somebody, but it's scary as hell. So I mean I recommend it, but also it's not necessary. Like it's not
Yeah.
necessary for
As long as you
you.
do it on your own terms
Yeah.
and, at your own time
And
and
don't
at
out
your own
people.
pace. Don't out people. Yeah. Unless they specifically
You were
requested you
I remember I told you, I said,
to.
just like Jasmine, because I knew I was tired of coming out. It was like to this thing. I like told a few people, and I was like, Jasmine, please just tell everybody that I'm gay. Like everybody that asks or anybody that's whatever, just say yeah. Like however it comes up, please just tell people. I'm just like done and over it. But it's just like I feel like once I just kind of like,
Me and my sister, we ain't straight.
oh, I think it's like, but yeah, I think it just was like I started dressing different. I started talking about things that were different. I started talking about gender and sexuality. It just was like a gradual thing, and I just like I like at the time I had a blog post and I talked about asexuality, but I never updated anybody, so people could still think I'm asexual. Maybe that's the issue, y'all. I'm not
Yeah.
asexual, like anymore. Like not. Just so you know.
This is another way that we both can come out.
I mean, I feel like at this point, I don't. I feel like if you don't know, then you aren't paying attention to me. Like
Yeah.
at this point, you should know, right? Am I making it obvious?
I don't
Like I
know.
don't quote unquote because there's no like a way of dressing. Like, I don't dress gay. I don't whatever the quote that can
She
be.
says with the
But
rainbow
huh?
shirt on. I said you say with a rainbow shirt on.
Listen, I know, but this is like look at my um it's my sign language. I love you in the rainbow. Yeah, but anyways, I don't know, like, so it's not obvious, but I feel like it's obvious. I always ask people, is it obvious I'm gay? Like, can you tell if I didn't tell you?
Well, now that I've known you your entire
Yeah,
life
but
since
yeah, so it's
before
hard for
you
you to be
got it,
objective.
it's hard for me to just be like you're just Natasha, but
Yeah, that's why
I
I
don't
ask
know.
people, like, do I give off those vibes? And people are like,
I
look how
don't
you
know.
used to wear hats for a couple years. Backwards
Like
hats.
when you were wearing those snapback
Listen,
hats, that was
I still got those hats. I'm
clear
all about it.
indication.
I'm not, it's just that, I gotta have my hair down and whatever. That's all really why I don't wear it. I don't go anywhere. I'm in the house all the time. So, where am I wearing these hats to? But no, like, I don't know. I hope that I give off a gay vibe. I don't think I
I,
do.
I hope I hope I don't seem too straight. that,
No, I
that I
understand and
seem
I agree with that, but I'm just
to.
like, do I need to do something to make people know?
I don't
Do I
know.
gotta
Like
keep
maybe
on
you should
coming
start
out, y'all?
making
This is our coming
buttons,
out.
like
Stop.
t-shirts, some stickers.
Yeah, I feel like, like, I don't know.
Hmm. They'll know now.
Yeah. So that was like my coming out. I mean, I didn't really have like, yeah, I never had like a speech or like anything really prepared. I just was like, uh, uh, I, mm, I'm not straight, or like I don't even know. I honestly, I feel like I blocked it out. I don't know exactly what I said, but it was very stuttery. It was very like so nervous. Never was a smooth thing. There was one time somebody said it did seem very effortlessly, but it was not on my end. I just was like,
Mm.
yeah, and so like I came out to this girl, and yeah, like I told her I was gay. Like I told this girl that I was like, yeah, I told this girl I was gay, and it was kind of weird situation, whatever. And that's how I came out to her, and she was like, yeah, it was so smooth. I was like, girl, I like in my head, my brain was churning. So just know if that person's coming out to you, it is hard for them. Even if they know you're going to be
It
okay
is hard.
and be chill about it,
Yeah.
it is hard for them. People who are still in the closet, I'm not gonna say that like like people say, oh, it gets better. Like I'm not even saying that it's hard right now. I'm just saying that it feels worth it when you do it. Do it when you're safe and in a good environment. You know that you're not going to be harmed or kicked out. Um, and it doesn't have to be for anybody else. It's just for you. If you need to just like, I feel like there's a lot of people who say they have a mirror moment. They look in the mirror and they say like, you're gay. You know, I never had that, but I've heard a lot of people who've done it. So like, even if you need to say like you're a lesbian, you're bisexual to the mirror, and just tell your mirror, or just tell your closest best friend, or if you need to tell your parents or whatever, or you don't have to tell anybody until you have a partner or whatever. You know, it's up to you. It's your life. Live it, love it, and that's.
On
Oh,
that
we didn't
note,
even address, because that was in the last episode, but this episode you can see it the whole time. My portrait of Rihanna in the back of Jasmine's thing. You can have Rihanna and it says "Don't worry about the album," and I love.
Are we gonna do this every episode?
We got to keep it in the background of every episode.
This is really ridiculous. I hate it. I'm gonna take it down.
No, please don't.
Really,
please don't.
She stares at me. She stares at me as I walk by.
Oh, okay, well then I'll have to get it next time, and then I'll put it on the back of here for me. It needs to be in it for some sort of reason.
I'll give it back to you.
But I like it there because it's cute. It matches with your pictures.
Honestly, where it's at right now, it's just throwing off the whole vibe.
I like it, so whatever. I think that you guys should comment and tell her she needs to keep it. Everybody reply and comment.
This is my house.
On Instagram, on YouTube, Queer Sister Podcast. Please, 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 please tell her to keep that Rihanna portrait. Rihanna, please tell her to keep that lovely portrait of you. I tried my hardest on that. I don't know why you're acting. I get how it looks, but like I try really hard.
That's why
it's hard to capture her beauty. And I really don't want to disrespect, because if Rihanna's listening to this, if you're listening, I really are.
Rihanna would never listen to this.
Really, Robin, Rihanna Fenty, I'm telling you that I do. I tried my hardest for that portrait. I tried so hard. I know I gave you a buff ass neck, but I tried so hard.
And it's just she has a broad neck. It's just so.
That's what I tried.
It's so broad. Your eyes.
Is she a strong woman? That's good. Anyways, that's all. We getting off on it. But anyways,
okay, we gotta wrap this up because this is crazy.
That was our episode of Chris's podcast. I'm Natasha.
Yeah. I'm Jasmine. Thanks for listening to this. I don't know if you want to continue listening.
Yes, listen. You need to tell them there's no choice. You need to listen to the next one.
Do it.
Need this.
Okay.
All right. See you next time. Bye.